The development of research skills is incredibly important in order for students to become independent thinkers and to foster a love of discovery. Not only does Choosito give students access to curated content, but students are given the tools to develop their information literacy skills as well. To start, let's explore Choosito Search. Choosito Search has two main components, the web and the library. Choosito Web is exactly what it sounds like. Users would be searching the web, whereas the library, users would be searching reliable, vetted content reviewed by Choosito and submitted to the library. Other search options include Choosito Images, which would provide links for images you are searching for, public collections, my collections, and shared collections, which I'll go into collections in a little bit. Users can filter content by reading level and subject theme. The reading levels are early readers, which is typically kindergarten through second grade, emerging readers, which is third, fourth, and fifth grade, fluent readers, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and advanced, 9th through 12th grade. And then here are your subject areas. For this test search, I'll use the web. I will put in my topic, Jupiter, early readers, and science, and search. You'll see that the websites that come up are very early reader friendly. And I'll click on it to give you an idea. And similarly, if I go back and look at fluent and research, you're going to notice that the content that comes up is a little more sophisticated. I'd like to mention that it would be useful for you to download an ad blocker, otherwise you might get distracting advertisements within the websites. While we do keep the sites as clean as possible, the ad blocker will be beneficial for you. So you may have noticed that Wikipedia comes up during some of the searches, and the reason Choosito keeps sites like Wikipedia and other user-generated content, such as blogs or forums, is because the goal behind Choosito is to help students discern what is reliable content, teaching them how to understand what elements make up solid sites. Additionally, if sites do not have sufficient content in order for Choosito to determine reading level or theme, you might not see these labels underneath. So if you only want to work with reliable resources, you can use the library, which is vetted and approved by Choosito. So when you're searching Choosito Web, you might notice a few things underneath the site. If you see this icon, it means that that source is already in Choosito Library. You'll also see this icon, which would mean you can add that site to your personal collection. And again, I'll talk a bit more about that in a few minutes. If you see this icon under a source that is not in the library, that's an option for you to submit it for approval for the library. Whereas on a site that is already in the library, you can simply suggest a new subject or reading level for that library. You'll notice our evaluation tool here, which I'll show you in a second, and then our citation tool, which would automatically generate proper citations in MLA format for your students, pre-populates most of the fields, whatever it's able to identify, and then you can copy and paste the citation into your paper. What the evaluation tool does is help students build a habit of asking themselves questions when choosing a source. Rather than asking just whether a site was good or bad, students are trained to use the evaluation tool after viewing a site to ask themselves questions such as, I can tell who wrote the article or created the site has more than an overview of the topic, that has a lot of information, and other similar questions. The idea is that by building this habit, they're going to develop the skills to automatically ask themselves these questions when conducting research. When younger students would log in, they would see a simpler version of the criteria. I'd now like to show you what your user dashboard contains. So from your dashboard, you still have access to all of the Choosito search functions, the web, library, images, and my collections. So managing collections is where you can go to create collections. You can assign and share them, and you can browse your collections here too. You'll see that I have a ton of collections here. Hopefully you can build up your library as well. So one of the ways to create a collection is simply scroll to the bottom, create collection, type in the name, description, and you could choose to make the collection public or just keep it private. You could always go back and change that too, and submit. And then you will see I already have one created over here. So if you just want to delete a collection, delete. So here is the collection that I just created. So now to add sites to my collection, you can go to search. And once you find some sites that you want, you can simply go to add to my collections. And here are all of your collections, and I would add it to Jupyter. You also have the option from here to create the collection too. So then I'd go next, do emerging readers, next. And then you can add a specific description to the site as well. Now this is a great function right here. My tags is an easy way to help you organize your collections by essentially allowing you to create your own filters. By adding certain tags, you can go through your collections, choose which tag you want to browse, and all of the sites that you saved in your collections that you assign that tag will come up. It's a great way to personalize your filters. So for managing classes, you are able to create, delete, and organize your classes. By adding or editing students, you can assign passwords, usernames, and even call up all that information as needed throughout the year by clicking on student cards, which gives all the information for your students. When you go into manage groups, that is where you can collaborate with various classes if you want. So for example, if I have 2 sections of 8th grade language arts, I would have them as 2 separate classes under manage classes. But then here I can create a group where both sections could collaborate as needed. Managing groups also goes a step further and allows you to group certain students within the same class together in any combination you'd like. It's another excellent way to differentiate and personalize your students' learning. Lastly, class analytics. Class analytics allows you to track what your students are searching, look at how they're evaluating sites, and particularly from the research standpoint, Class analytics allows you to see how in-depth students are putting information literacy techniques into practice. Are they searching their topic from many angles or just one broad search? Are they narrowing their topic down to help their research? All of these things can be tracked through class analytics, allowing you to maximize the research and learning process. And you could also see how are they evaluating a site, and see how they are putting those skills into practice. That's just one of the examples. You have your search queries here, and you can search it by teacher, class, or just by specific students, by date range, however you want to do it. Now you're ready to begin using Choosito. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email info@choosito.com, and we will be happy to help. For a more detailed look at our features, be sure to check out all of our guides.